multinationals just eat up companies all over, and the borders don't mean anything anymore. Everything's a dollar, and you've got to have some strength in your union. You've got to have ties to other countries.
It's a matter of pride. It's a question of loyalty. We're a link in the backbone of this nation, you and me. Teamsters are for one and one for all. Proud to be Canadian, we stand tall. Teamsters are for one and one for all.
Teamsters live and work in two different nations, the United States and Canada. In both countries, we face the same attack by big corporations on the future of working families. That's why Canadian Teamsters traveled to the border recently to support the Detroit newspaper strikers.
I would like jointly with Charles Thibault, my brother and partner in Canada, to give a check for $10,000 US to our brothers that are on strike. And to tell you that our spirit is with you and will stay with you.
When the U.S. government stopped the Canadian Teamsters from joining the picket line in Detroit, they shut the border down in protest.
Solidarity for some of the newspaper workers. This morning in Detroit, they've been on strike for a long time. And we wanted to go over there and join their picket line, and we were stopped at the American side of the bridge, so we're just letting them know that.
Yeah, I heard it on the news.
Yeah, we're just letting them know that we're not pleased. Okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great.
Well, let's go with me.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Teamsters in both countries have also protested against NAFTA, the trade deal scheduled to allow companies to use unsafe Mexican trucks on our highways, with drivers paid as little as $1 an hour.
Like the Mexican at $7 a day, I'll be out of a job. It won't take too long. It's nearly impossible to work at that kind of a rate.
To keep taking on common problems like these, it's important that Canadian and U.S. Teamsters work together in the same union. And that means recognizing the right of Canadian Teamsters to make decisions about union issues in their own nation.
We have two languages here, a different culture. Our legal system is different, so it's important to stay together, but it's also important the International Union recognize our sovereignty.
The Teamsters International Union, that plays a coordinating role for members in the U.S., created Teamsters Canada to play the same role for Canadian members. Teamsters Canada coordinates national contracts for Canadian members, national legislative affairs at the Canadian capital in Ottawa, and relations with the National Labour Federation, the Canadian Labour Congress. Our international union has also helped Teamsters Canada start its own national magazine in Canada's two official languages, French and English.
Yeah, I think the changes that have come forth in the last couple of years are great. We've gotten a better sense of independence as our own union, but still being part of that big Teamster family.
There's never any borders when you recognize your friends. One road through many countries, united by a dream.
Canadian members of many other international unions have split away over the past 15 years because they felt their special needs were not recognized.
Most Canadians have left their international unions, but we don't want to do that. We want to stay Teamsters.
I'm proud to belong to a union that has the vision to recognize our Canadian sovereignty and give us the tool that we needed to well represent our membership in Canada.
Under proposed Canadian sovereignty amendments to the Teamsters Constitution, the special role of Teamsters Canada in a separate nation would be recognized.
Well, if it's in the Constitution, it can't be changed at a whim. I mean, you would have to go to the convention to have it changed. Someone couldn't arbitrarily, an international executive board couldn't arbitrarily stand up and say, that's the end of this.
Under the sovereignty amendments, the leader of Teamsters Canada and two international union vice presidents will be democratically elected by Canadian members. Dues for members in both countries will not be affected, but the amendments make Teamsters Canada accountable to the Canadian membership for union finances and services.
I don't think that the purpose is to break totally away from the International Union. It's to stay a part of the International Union, but give us more sovereignty, more power, more control over our own business.
I wouldn't want somebody from another country making decisions for me. And I'm sure the Canadian Teamsters feel the same way about their country.
I think that on the American side and on the Canadian side, we should be together rather than separate. You're stronger when there's more. That's just logical.
Teamsters all for one and one for all. Proud to be Canadian, we stand tall.